Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll just be starting shortly, so stay tuned. Thanks. Hi, welcome to everyone who's joined us right now. I can see some numbers picking up, so we'll just wait a couple of more minutes for others to join as well, and then we'll kick off today's session. Thanks. Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll just be beginning shortly. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I see we have some more people. I'll just give it a few more seconds, and then we'll start off today's session. Thank you. So great. Let's start. Good evening, everyone who's joined us today, and welcome to today's webinar brought to you by TechBee, HCL's Early Career Program. As you know, as part of our guidance series, we speak to leading career counselors and coaches in India who work extensively with students to help them define their career path. Our aim is to help students who are still undecided on their future, on their career, with information, with the kind of streams that are available to you and what it would mean for your career in the future. As you know, our guest today is Ms. Pervin Malhotra, India's top career counselor and education counselor. She's the executive director of Career Guidance India. She's also a contributor to leading national dailies, and her career query columns in print media and segments on social electronic media reach an estimated audience of 200 million. So with that, I will welcome Perveen ma'am. Um, Thank you for joining us, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you here
Pleasure,
with us today.
absolute pleasure.
So, ma'am, last time around when you were with us, we'd held a question hour with the members of our audience and our followers, and you answered all kinds of queries related to career paths available and specific questions from students where they wanted to get into a specific stream and they wanted your guidance on how exactly they should go about it. Today, will be a little different. Today, we'll be having a rather focused discussion on the tech side of things. So tech careers is what today's focus is for students after class 12. Now, before we jump into today's session and the questions that we have for you, I just want to take you know like I just want to run a check with you on your perspective on how the pandemic has impacted school students. I'm sure you've had many interesting experiences in this regard over the last year. How have students adapted to this new remote learning model, and what does this mean for the future? Please do share with us.
A very interesting question in the sense that different students have, responded and reacted differently to this pandemic and lockdown. Strangely, you would think that students would like to be in school and with their friends, etc. But many students have said that we are very happy sitting at home in our pajamas. We don't have to commute and we don't have to
Mhm.
wake up early and stuff like that. So they're very, very happy with online study. On the other hand, the younger kids, they are very fidgety and very, very restless. I have two kids in my house, and constantly there has to be a grown up supervising them because they become so smart. They put up their DPs in front, and in a class of 45 students, the teacher can't make out if the student is there or not, and then they're
Mhm.
happily gaming or doing all kinds of things. So there are these little kids who are having a tough time. And not only has study study gone online, even their homework is gone online, all their entertainment anyway is online, their gaming is online, their viewing on OTT platforms is online, their
Absolutely.
catching up with friends is online. So there's a bit too much of online. Some students happy with it, parents very unhappy with it, so mixed feelings. But I think the real credit goes to the teachers and
For
how
sure.
superbly they have adapted to this. We were all, this whole digital learning was in the offing. And
Mm.
a bit of it was being used in the classrooms with whiteboards, etc., but not in all schools. Now, even a government school teacher or a municipal school teacher has become so savvy at conducting all her classes online while handling the pressure cooker in the kitchen and her kid who is studying and a demanding husband in the other room. And, they've just managed to navigate this scenario. And I think that shows how adaptable we human beings are.
Yeah,
And
certainly. I agree with
yes,
you, ma'am.
absolutely. And going forward, change is going to be the only constant. And
Mhm.
this lockdown has been a massive, massive change from the life that we used to live. I mean, look at the seminar that we are doing this year and what we did last year.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
typically I would have been in a five-star hotel or in a big auditorium, and then, those kids would be streaming in and their parents coming and somebody coughing and somebody standing up to answer and all of that. अब कितना convenient है. I've just stepped in from my study and come down to do this call, and I'm sure you're doing the same.
Yeah, yeah, certainly, ma'am. I think the last year, like you said, definitely has its challenges, but at the
Yes.
same time, there are a lot of positives that you pointed out as well.
Great positives,
For
absolutely
sure,
great
for sure.
positives, and the time that it has given us to sit back and think our trajectories. We were all going on one charted घिसा पिटा रास्ते पे हम चल रहे थे, and suddenly एक sudden stop आया, and that has forced us to rethink our priorities, what is important, our families, how many children have faced death. Imagine, typically a school child doesn't think of death and things like that, but each family
Certainly.
has had some death or hospitalization, etc., and how beautifully our children have taken and absorbed it all in. I think it has many silver linings as well.
Yeah, for sure, ma'am. And I think while we were thinking of today's webinar topic, why tech careers and why this theme of technology that always comes back. Well, of course, we're a technology company, and tech is in our heart.
Yes, of
But
course.
at the same time, we also see that this generation, of students who are in school right now, they are digital first. They're
Absolutely.
growing up in an environment where everything around them is powered by technology, so perhaps that change from classroom to remote was, like you said, they actually adapted to it beautifully as well. So great.
Absolutely. And I think even going forward, even when regular offline classes begin,
Hmm.
the thing going forward is going to be blended learning,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
means that for all the theory, etc., you will do it online at your own pace. You can revise, look at it, research, etc. And then for your live project work, for socializing, for interacting with your peers and teachers, you will go to school or college. And that is going to be the landscape of education going forward globally.
Great, great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those inputs. I think with that, we can jump in right
Sure.
to our session today and take questions that we've
Yes.
first that we have for you, and of course the ones that we've received from students all across the country. So, ma'am, our first question, and again, this is um, right on the theme of what we're talking about today. So, we know technology is here to stay, it's going to evolve. And of course, we see that, class 12 students see that as well. It's reflecting in their school curriculum, in the kind of
Oh,
choices they make
yes.
for their college.
Yes.
How can a class 12 completed student start their career in technology? I mean, what is that starting point that they can look at?
Actually, the starting point is while they are still in school.
Hmm.
Because, if you wait to jump in after you've completed your class 12, it is like, aag lagi or kuan khodna. And then in desperation, you will, you're bound to end up making a mistake. And today, making career mistakes can be very expensive. Expensive in terms of time, expensive in terms of money and effort. आपको एक engineering college में जाने के लिए भी कितने लाख रुपए खर्च करने पड़ते हैं कोचिंग के
Yes.
लिए. Or, and
Yes.
you have to set aside your youth and your friends and your family time to be, navigating one tongue in your CBSE or whatever state board
Mm-hmm.
curriculum, one tongue in the coaching, तो वो सब करने के बाद, because आपने तो एक साइंस लिया और फिर you were bright, so you took science, and because you took science, majority of your classmates were going in for engineering, तो आप भी उसी में कश्ती में कूद गए. तो that can be a terrible mistake if you have not done it with your eyes open.
Sure.
Not everything is ideal for everybody. The same, I mean, I may like chocolate ice cream, you may hate it, है ना? So
Mm-hmm.
although it is ice cream, and although strawberry is also an ice cream, so it's like that. And
Yeah.
what is happening, the big mistake that I see a lot of parents as well as students making as far as tech careers is कि वो ना पेरेंट्स देखते हैं कि उनके बच्चे दिन भर गैजेट के ऊपर बैठे रहते हैं.
Mm-hmm.
वो इंटरनेट पे होते हैं या कुछ ना कुछ गेम खेल रहे होते हैं. फॉर पेरेंट्स दिस मीन्स मेरा बेटा या मेरी बेटी कंप्यूटर्स, very
Yeah.
fond of computers, very passionate about computers, not knowing that using computers and working in computers are two completely different cups of tea.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all
So they
of
just
us.
generalize it, like you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. So parents ये सोचते हैं कि अगर बच्चे कंप्यूटर पे खेल रहे हैं और अपना predominant time बिता रहे हैं कंप्यूटर के ऊपर, तो उनको तो कंप्यूटर और आईटी में ही जाना चाहिए. But I mean, you can use technology in your career. I use technology in my career as a career counselor, but I'm not into a career in technology.
Yeah, precisely.
So that is the big difference, and this is the big thing that you need to explore about yourself. Just because we play games and we are good at WhatsApping and quickly going through Instagram and clicking selfies and putting them up and stuff like that, that doesn't make us good computer programmers or scientists or data scientists, etc., etc. So my first advice would be कि क्लास 10 के बाद ही आप थोड़ा explore करना शुरू करें. And as you said earlier, now already information and familiarity with STEM and computer programming or informatics practice, etc., is being imparted in all our schools. Many of our kids are participating in small hackathons, etc., programming competitions, all kinds
Yes.
of things.
Yes.
So the thing is to dip your toe and explore. और ये जो 2 साल है 10th के बाद आपने जो भी stream पकड़ लिया, whether you've taken commerce or whether you've taken PCM or whether you've taken whatever, please try out the things that you think you would like to do, because
Yeah.
इतने बच्चों से मैं रोज ऑन अ डेली बेसिस आई डील, एंड व्हेन आई आस्क देम ना कि तुमको किस चीज में मजा आता है या कौन सा करियर तुमने अपने बारे में सोचा है, मोस्ट ऑफ देम विल से मैम आई लाइक डूइंग दिस, मैम आई लाइक पेंटिंग, और मैम आई लाइक स्पेंडिंग टाइम इन माय गार्डन, और मैम आई लाइक wearing fashionable clothes. Now, wearing fashionable clothes is not tantamount to becoming a fashion designer. है ना?
Yes.
So
Yes.
आपको हर चीज, and today we are moving into, already we've moved into the knowledge era and the knowledge economy. और knowledge era और knowledge economy की जो unique बात ये है that it is your human knowledge that is what will determine whether or not you succeed and in what you're going to succeed. Today,
Sure.
information is available at the press of a key. So you have no excuse, absolutely no excuse to not delve into the 3 or 4 things that you are looking at or that your parents or somebody else has suggested that you do. And आप रोज सिर्फ आधा घंटा भी खर्चोगे ना to read up this phenomenal information. I was going through your own website, HCL Tech's website, And believe me, even for someone like me who's been in counseling for so many years, there was so much I got to learn. I watched some of your videos that you put out earlier, and that itself was such a tremendous learning for me. Now, all this learning is available absolutely for free to every student.
Yeah.
When these kids look at careers and people who are successful, and making the Sundar Pichais, etc., who are making, or even the Shiv Nadars who are making loads of money in IT, they think that's what they have to do. But
Mm-hmm.
what exactly does it take? क्या पापड़ बेलने पड़ते हैं, कितने साल लगते हैं? All that is just completely ignored. And therefore, then when they get into college, or even they get into a BTech degree, even in an IIT, there is not a year when I've not had IIT students and IIT, some of the top IIT students saying,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, we think we made a mistake. This is not what we wanted to do. पर आपने तो पूरी दुनिया को बता दिया कि भाई मुझे तो इंजीनियर बनना है या मुझे तो आईआईटी जाना है. आपके पूरे परिवार की नाक इधर चढ़ गई because your son is in IIT and now he
Yeah.
says he wants to drop out and do, go into food or go into photography or go into, gaming or go into whatever. And parents are in a funk. So they say, nahi beta, aap kar lo. And that poor kid, 4 years of straight jacketing into a thing. And now that you've done your BE, BTech, तब तो फिर आपको बनता ही है कि आप उस फील्ड में काम करो. And then the die is cast. So use these 2 years, to maximum advantage. Go and shadow people who are doing jobs in these fields. Talk to them. और खास करके ये जो कोविड सिनारियो है ना, जबकि लोग घर पे बैठ के काम कर रहे हैं, most of them, even senior level people, will be more than happy to guide you, talk to you, mentor you, etc.
Definitely.
One phone call is all it takes. And don't ask, do your basic research. Don't go and ask them, sir, what is IT, and sir, what is data science? वो सब तो आप पढ़ लो. But after that, make a list of 4 or 5 questions and speak to them and just see कि अगर आप ये consistently करते हो, तो how much knowledge you will gain. And maybe that knowledge, after gaining all that knowledge, you might decide that this career is not for me. So
Sure.
good, so good. Look at something else or something else. And anyways, as all career experts say, going forward in the years to come, you are bound to be changing your career, not just your job, several times. They say 5 or 6 just now. We don't know how many times 8 years from now.
Yeah, it would be in
So,
the future.
सो अभी से ये जो बच्चे एकदम नैरो करके कहते हैं ना, आई वांट टू बी अ न्यूरो साइंटिस्ट, और आई वांट टू बी a cardiothoracic surgeon, or I want to do only cloud computing, or I want to do artificial intelligence. Do not get fixated on these things straight after class 12, because by the time you enter the world of work, टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी तेज रफ्तार से चलती है that these fields which are today hot will be lukewarm tomorrow and ice cold the day after.
Yeah.
So instead look at yourself कि मुझे क्या करने में मजा आता है, ऐसा क्या काम है जो मैं I can do 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day without getting tired. And because technology is such a dynamic field and changing so swiftly, I must, ऐसा कौन सा फील्ड है जिसमें अगर I have to be constantly unlearning, relearning,
Skilling. Yeah.
reskilling, all of that, I will do it happily, because you're not going to get time to go to college to do that. You have to do it side by side alongside your work. तो वो क्या चीज है जिसमें you will delight in learning, because after all हम करियर क्यों चूज करते हैं? हमारी खुशी के लिए ना. It's not just about the money. It's about the joy we get. It's about the satisfaction we get. It's about the learning that we get, about the identity that it gives us, etc., etc. तो हमें वो ही चूज करना चाहिए जिसमें हमें मजा आए.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest takeaway, ma'am, from this answer of yours is that use your 2 years to actually delve into
Absolutely.
things you are interested in.
Explore.
Yeah.
Experiment.
Yeah, because
experiment.
yeah.
That's it.
So उससे दो चीजें होंगी, like you said, you'll either know that this is something I
Yes.
love doing and I want to
Yes.
take it forward, or you're going to
Yes.
say, maybe I thought I liked it as much, but
Yes.
not to practice it, and then you leave it behind
Yes.
and you focus on your next goal, or the next thing that you
Absolutely.
think you're interested in. So great. Thank you,
Also,
ma'am.
something, Sanat, एक और चीज हो गई है. The other thing is that today a bachelor's degree is equivalent only to class 11 and 12 in perhaps your time and of course in my time. So it's just a hygiene factor. आपको एक करना है,
Hmm.
कि उसके बाद तुम क्या करोगे शायद will determine in most fields.
Yeah,
I'm talking about, not talking about exceptions like TechBee. TechBee is a
sure,
fantastic thing. We'll come to that later. I mean, for
sure.
people who feel कि मुझे मैंने जेई की तैयारी नहीं की या मैं कर ही नहीं सकता था या मैं करना ही नहीं चाहता था, and yet want a good career in IT, your TechBee is of course an absolutely wonderful starting point. But leaving that aside also, आज आपने suppose बीटेक कर लिया, हाँ, या कुछ भी कर लिया, what stops you from moving into finance, what stops you from moving into design, what stops you from
Yes.
moving into law? And the knowledge that you've gained will not go waste. You can, you can marry the knowledge that you've gained on the course. When you study science or mathematics, physics or chemistry, what it does is it gives you a logical, analytical frame of mind, problem solving frame of mind. Now,
Yes.
with that logical, analytical, problem solving frame of mind, you can go into any field and you would succeed, whether it's journalism, whether it's law, whether it's gaming, whether it's, anything.
Hmm.
You will know how to solve a problem. So that is it. And एक और चीज, that I find, we Indians are so obsessed about careers in terms of starting salary क्या मिलेगी, मेरा डेजिग्नेशन क्या होगा. अरे भाई, अगर आप pass out करते हो, whether you are passing out of the TechBee program or whether you're passing out of IIT, your first job is just your first job. It's
Yeah.
what you will do subsequently and master more skills. Then you will look around you, find something. I used to be in advertising, and before that in filmmaking, and now into this. So you will keep moving, and then ultimately you'll find your comfort niche. तो आज जो आपने fancy words सोच के रखा है, don't get fixated on that, because if you get fixated on it, then क्या होता है कि अगर मैंने सारी दुनिया को कह दिया, मेरे पेरेंट्स को, चाचा को, सबको, कि मैं तो बायोटेक्नोलॉजिस्ट बनूंगा, हाँ,
Hmm.
एंड देन 10 जन को मैंने 10 बार ये कह दिया, नाउ that becomes my truth.
मैं भी
मैंने
फंस
तो
गया.
उनको
Yeah.
टालने के लिए कह दिया, but now it becomes my truth. Now when I discover that biotechnology is not the field for me, मुझे तो जक मार के करना ही पड़ेगा ना. So please, at this young stage, keep your eyes and ears open. You don't have to decide which narrow career you are going to be pursuing.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for that, ma'am. Now, with that, I think we'll take our next question, which is, we wanted you to kind of take the students here who are interested in careers in technology. Could you take them through what kind of streams that are available to them? When they do enter that domain of technology, whether it is with, of course, TechBee program or otherwise.
See, before I answer that question, we are talking about careers in technology, and today that is the most popular stream of engineering that students are opting for. Huh? But within technology, there are so many specializations. Okay, it's very difficult for a child to decide कि आज मुझे data science में जाना है, कि artificial intelligence में
Yeah,
जाना है, कि web
absolutely.
designing में जाना है ना.
Yeah.
तो उसके भी पहले start looking at yourself कि मुझे what is it that I do with great ease and better than others. Some people may be better at coding, some people are better at designing, some people are better at analyzing stuff and data and numbers, some people are very good with numbers, some people are very bad at numbers. तो एक तो always career planning begins with yourself and what it is that you can do, because a job is there because somebody wants something done at the least possible cost in the swiftest possible time. Now if you happen to be that person, the job is yours. All right. So, end of the day, it's about you.
Your
Now,
skill,
so first
your
you
strength.
need to understand where you come from. What is it that you like doing? What is it that you hate doing? Are you a people facing person? Are you a loner? Are you good at communicating things? Do you like to take all the credit for yourself, or are you a team person? All these factors will make a difference with in whether you succeed or not. Also remember, there are certain career streams. And why am I telling you to remember? It's actually the
Mhm.
students that uh, there is all careers have a certain and will have a certain amount of obsolescence, but IT and tech careers will have the most obsolescence, the most. So, whatever you learn today will be partly or completely obsolete by the time
Mhm.
you get even near the tech industry. And the tech industry is so fast moving that what's invented today is promptly superseded by newer and improved versions all the time. I mean, you must see it in
Yes,
your
yes.
field of work all the time. But the exception is that some, even within this, there are some technologies which are relatively long lasting. For instance, cloud computing
Mhm.
or electric circuit design, knowing which, सो आपको ये सब जानना है, बिकॉज अगर आपको इसके बारे में पता ही नहीं है, तो अगर आपको बार बार आपका आपका लर्निंग रिन्यू करना है, तो आप नहीं कर पाओगे. हाउ मेनी companies have this one complaint that people who came with the best qualifications, when they, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I just need to silence that. How many
No worries,
people
ma'am.
yeah, how many people who came, who came into industry with top level qualifications now refuse to upgrade their skills. And there is a limit to which, and your company will keep promoting you further and further if you are not willing to do that,
Mhm.
in your own time. So if आपको लर्निंग, ये सब चीज में ज्यादा दिलचस्पी नहीं है, तो डोंट गो इनटू फील्ड्स दैट विल डिमांड constant learning and up
Skilling,
learning on your part. Okay.
for sure.
Then also pick up a niche as you go forward. Pehle at the base level, you do a plain vanilla course. Like, when you're doing an MBA, you do a general MBA in the, your first year, you study all the functional domains. You study marketing, you study finance, you study HR, you study operations, you study business accounting, etc. And then having studied those, यू डिसाइड कि भाई मुझे फाइनेंस करना है कि मार्केटिंग करना है कि ऑपरेशंस करना है कि सिस्टम्स करना है कि क्या करना है. सिमिलरली, do not, find, you will find, rest assured, you will find your niche as you go ahead. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the other thing that you have to keep in mind. Also, you must understand that the tech, just because you took science, just because you took PCM and went into are looking at engineering, tech industry is not for everyone. So you may want to use, as I said earlier, use technology, and you may want to be in technology. तो वो आपको उसका थोड़ा सा assessment करना है. And then try coding. There's so much of coding certifications, etc., apart from what you do in school, that is available online free of cost. So try it out, see if you like it.
So, ma'am,
And
interestingly, sorry, sorry to butt in
yes,
here,
yes, tell
but
me, tell
interestingly,
me.
ma'am, just to kind of also validate what you're saying, we follow the
Yes.
same uh, ideology here with the HCL TechBee as well, because so everyone who comes in for TechBee
Huh.
actually goes through the foundation training. Foundation training, सबके लिए you can say बराबर है. Everyone learns the same set of skills at that point, and from there, what your interest is, where your aptitude is, where your skills are, you will be aligned to that specific stream after the foundation course. That's where your professional practice term would be. आप उस
Right,
domain में
right.
actually काम करके सीखोगे, and you'll understand what exactly it entails. So yeah, I just wanted to kind
Absolutely.
of
Yes, I went through the details of your program today,
yes.
and I saw that. And I also saw the kind of mentoring, because you're doing a practical industry oriented course and you're working on live projects, you know, not
Hmm.
just made up projects or
Yeah,
academic projects, but live projects with uh, top companies in the industry globally. Your learning is absolutely up to date, and you have all these guys who are doing different things in the company and they are ready to gladly mentor you. So keep your eyes and ears open and be willing to learn. And if you're willing to learn, I think nothing can stop you from going wherever it is that you wish to go.
sure, sure.
So
Thank you for
your
that, ma'am.
question, yeah. So you wanted also you have to always keep your eyes and ears open on क्या नया trends आपके field of work में obtain करते हैं. That is very important. Read industry
Hmm.
journals, websites, blogs, etc. ये you have to keep abreast with what's happening around you. Also, you need to be multi-skilled. Just don't go into a narrow field. Like आप अगर coding कर रहे हो, programming, मैं तो programmer हूँ. What stops you from also looking at the other people? The people who are taking the programming that you're doing to the market, the marketing team, for instance, and the strategy team, the marketing team. So learn about the industry for which you are writing the program. So yes, sir, you have to keep a 360-degree view of the world around you, not just horse blinkered in your very, very narrow whatever skill that you have learned at the outset. Because what you learned at the outset, you may not use even 2 years from now. After all, engineering
Sure.
students कहते हैं ना कि we don't even if you've been to some of the top tech colleges that you barely use even 5% of the academic knowledge that you've gained in college. But it's all the other skills that come into play when you are in the career.
Hmm. Great. So I think,
So
ma'am,
you're
yeah,
coming to
sorry.
your question. Yes,
Yeah.
you're coming to your question. कि क्या what are the ways you can go about it? There are many ways you can go about it. I mean, अगर आपको you want to go into an engineering college and do a B.Tech, please do that. If you get into a good college with a good course, you get computer science or you get IT, wonderful. But even if you don't get आईटी और कंप्यूटर साइंस बिकॉज भेड़ चाल है सब लोग जा रहे हैं तो अगर आपको कोई और ब्रांच मिल गया आपको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मिल गया या इलेक्ट्रिकल मिल गया या मैकेट्रॉनिक्स मिल गया या whatever else what stops you because there is going to be a computing element that is going to be part of your course anyway and whether you look at top engineering colleges or the second rung of engineering colleges most of the students are learning and doing parallel computing courses on their own on the side. So,
Yes.
it's not the end of the world कि आपको IT चाहिए था और आपको suppose electrical या mechanical मिल गया. Who stops you from going into IT and computer science either at the master's level or when it comes to jobs? When companies come to your campus, they don't stop other, students from other engineering branches to sit for campus interviews. If you
Hmm.
clear if you clear the test and you've got the necessary GPAs, etc., you're ready, you're absolutely eligible to apply. So कभी भी ये नहीं सोचना कि अब मेरा करियर खत्म हो गया. No, at any stage of life, you can change the direction of your career. Yes, if you do it later, it may take you a little longer, but that is all. That is all. If you want to do it and if you can put in the necessary effort, there is nobody and nothing that can stop you.
Sure. Thanks for
So
that,
yes,
ma'am.
you can go into B.Tech. You can go and do a diploma level program. अगर आपको डिप्लोमा करना है अब तो बहुत सारे बी वॉक प्रोग्राम्स आ गए हैं हमारे कंट्री में बी वॉक प्रोग्राम्स विच ऑफर पहले तो ये था ना कि एक कास्ट सिस्टम था कि अगर आप B.Tech कर रहे हैं तो वो एक इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में है और because you are not in an engineering college and you are studying in a polytechnic, that means you're a second rank student. Although your knowledge is, your practical knowledge and application based knowledge is far superior to someone who has just done an academic or theoretical BB Tech. पर वो एक perception था. अब क्या हो गया है? We have BVOC courses. What are BVOC courses? That you can do 2 years of a diploma, and you can absolutely lateral entry into go into the third year, and you will get a degree. So you are in no way inferior to somebody who went and did, say, a BCA or a BSc IT or whatever. So all these options have opened up in our country, and today all hiring, a BTech may help you get your foot in the door, but ultimately today as well as going forward, you are going to be hired only for your skills. And nothing stops you from acquiring those skills within and outside of your academics. So,
Sure.
and I have seen a lot of even commerce students move into tech subsequently or parallelly. So, because
Yes,
tech,
fintech, as they say, ma'am, is big time up and coming sector. Fintech is, I mean, the next big
yeah,
thing. So yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you could be combining law and tech, you could be combining designing and tech, you can combine just about everything and tech.
definitely, ma'am. So just because we're touching upon this right now, could you? I mean, a lot of students, they aspire to be, in tech careers, but of course, itna exposure nahi milta necessarily, for everyone. So could you maybe briefly talk about the different kind of roles? Just briefly touch upon कि क्या options आपके पास होते हैं once you actually go into a tech career. I mean, what kind of jobs do you actually do? If you could just briefly touch upon that for anyone who's listening here, just कोई help कर
Okay.
सकता है आज?
All right. I think there are about 6 or 7 very broad paths that you can get into, that are there in this field
Yes,
right now. And you can
yeah,
combine some of these and you can add to them, because we don't know kya nayi cheezein aayenge in the years to come. But I think the most elementary would be computer support. Okay. So I find that many people in the beginning phases of their IT careers work in computer support roles that support many different aspects of computer operations.
yeah, yeah.
From
IT
there,
support, as we call it. Yeah,
yes, IT support, absolutely. And from there, it's possible to specialize in narrower field like cybersecurity or networks, or continue in computer support to become a senior or a manager. Okay. And so, what are the early career jobs? Early career job would be IT support technician, desktop support technician, help desk technician, IT associate, etc. And then, if you like it and wish to continue in it, then you can become a senior help desk support technician. You could become a service desk supervisor. You could become a support desk manager, etc. So
sure,
that is one role which anybody can get into, doesn't take too much of study or doing, you know. Then comes everybody's talking about cyber security. Okay, big area, and that is an area that's not going to become obsolete, unlike many other careers and fields
definitely.
that we
Yeah,
hear of today. So, what does working in cybersecurity mean? I mean, for the students, of course, what it means is that if you are working in cybersecurity, you are involved and working in protecting computer systems, devices, sensitive information from malware, unauthorized access, damage, data breaches, etc. रोज हम सुनते हैं ना कि अब मेरा बैंक अकाउंट हैक हो गया, चाचा जी का, उन्होंने अपना ओटीपी डाल दिया, और दे आंसर्ड वेदर आपने वैक्सीनेशन किया है कि नहीं. तो इफ यू से यस, देन दे आस्क यू फॉर अ फर्दर थिंग एंड दे से वी आर सेंडिंग यू एन ओटीपी, एंड बैंक में से पैसा निकल गया. दिस इज व्हाट अ साइबर सिक्योरिटी person will try and protect. So this is the big field of the future,
sure,
and it is one of the two fields in IT that is expected to see the maximum demand, the other one being cloud computing. Okay.
sure.
So now, how would you start out as an entry level cybersecurity person? You might, early career jobs would be information security analyst, cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity engineer. And then as you go deeper and get some more experience. Then you'll become a senior cyber engineer, information
Mm-hmm.
security manager, ethical hacker, etc., etc. So that is the big field, and uh, I think this is a field that is going to remain evergreen for a very, very long time.
Ma'am, could
Because
you
whether,
briefly also,
yes,
sorry, please
yes,
continue.
yes,
I
tell
was
me.
saying
No.
maybe after this you could briefly also touch upon on the software development side of things, what kind of roles people get into. Sorry, that was just a suggestion from my end.
Yes, I will.
Please.
Of course, we will. I will certainly do that. I'll certainly do
Thank
that. Then there is networks and systems. Network IT professionals, they work with network related tasks or hardware and systems. Professionals work among servers and computer systems, connecting computers, connecting servers, etc. They may have overlapping roles. इस फील्ड में थोड़ा particularly at smaller companies where you're more likely to have to be wearing multiple hats. When
you.
you
Mhm.
are in networks and systems, etc. You might start as an analyst or administrator, network analyst or network administrator, and work your way up to becoming a network or systems engineer or even a network or systems architect.
Sure.
So that is the field that a lot of people are going into, and it's going to be in demand for a long time. I'll not go into the details of the job levels, but
Sure, ma'am.
now I will come to your question, which is software
Sure.
development.
Sure. Thank
Hmm?
you.
So, so software developers, what do? They develop computer programs that are used to accomplish any number of tasks. Your internet browser, music streaming service, shopping online, video conferencing apps, even what we are working on currently, on which we are doing this webinar, are all examples of software development. And software development can open paths into a variety of different industries, including finance, video game development, technology, you name it. So what are the roles? People ask, what will my designation be? Well, your designation will be software engineer, software developer, senior software engineer, etc. Okay. Then there
Sure.
is this field. Some people say कि भाई मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग मैंने कर लिया है, मैंने C++ कर लिया, लेकिन I cannot spend my life just coding, because sometimes coding can take you months to do a program. Sometimes it can be done in a shorter time. So working in web development may be a good option for you, because working in web development means that you will be involved in creating and maintaining websites and phone applications, mobile applications.
Sure.
हर चीज के लिए there's a mobile app today. Everything, whether you're shopping or whether you are following news or whether you're watching movies, anything new, everything is there is a mobile app for it. Okay, so this is what is done by web developers, and web developers can be front end or back end
Again,
developers.
yeah.
दोनों साइड होती है, that is front facing interfaces or behind the scenes mechanics of a website. What you see, the look and feel, etc. कितना how easy, उसका शक्ल कैसा है, look कैसा है, वो सब, that is the front end. But the back end is very, very complex. That is what will help you quickly navigate and search and find these things. And there is going to be such a demand for this going forward. It already is, because almost every business, including mine, has gone online. All of us, अगर हमारा web में presence नहीं है, etc., so then we are out of the market, whether we are book publishers or lawyers or whatever. Every industry and every business needs a website. So that is
Sure.
what you could be
Absolutely.
doing. And it also requires an element of creativity. So agar aap mein creativity hai, so you can go on to the designing side of it and not so much focus on the technology side of it, because you work in teams. Today, all of IT work is done in teams. You're not going to be a lone programmer or a lone web designer or web developer. Gosh, now it's
Yeah, you'll be a part of a team. I think that's
yes.
definitely
So what it's like, being in product design. अगर आप product design करते हो, तो प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन में क्या होता है? प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन में somebody is looking at the look and feel of the product, कैसा लगता है उसका स्टाइलिंग एक्सेट्रा. And then there are the technical guys, whether it's this mobile phone or whatever, how it looks, उसका interface कैसा है, वगैरह वगैरह. That is the interface is what the tech guys will do. But
Yeah.
how slim it is, how sleek it is, all of that, how does it feel, wo sab the designing guys. So they work in collaboration. So that is how industry today, the tech industry works. And just about every product that we use is a combination of both these things. It is designing and technology. Okay. Then then comes this big area of data. Now, when we talk of data, with this plethora of internet connected devices, companies have unprecedented access to unprecedented amounts of data. Every time we go to Amazon, to even search, of course, when we go to shop, certainly, तो कितना उनके पास हमारा डेटा आता है, कहाँ का, कितनी बार हम कौन से प्रोडक्ट का सर्च किया, कितना हम कहाँ रुके, क्या हमने बाय किया, क्या हमने रिपीट बाय किया, all this data. And it's not just my data. My son, he heads Amazon Music, for instance. Now, you can't imagine the amount of, when you go to Amazon Prime Music, etc., you will see that आपने अगर एक type का music search किया है, तो next time when you go onto that app, you will be prompted and shown
Suggest you,
only
yeah.
your kind of music.
Yes.
Although there is variety of music, but वो आपको वो नहीं दिखाएंगे ना. How is this possible? And this is across languages. It is across
Yes.
Western, Indian, Hindustani, Bengali, Haryanvi, Bhojpuri, whatever. And itna precisely they are able to target you and show you and prompt you with what you will like. So
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
this is data science. So if this is a very big area. It is not, I would say, it is not hardcore IT. You can't call it hardcore IT, but it is part of IT. So it's
Yeah.
not a traditional IT specialization, but the increasing demands for data skills makes it a solid career option for those who are looking at IT related work. Now, you could be in analytics, whether it is data analytics, it could be business analytics, all of it, or you're even an economist and you're analyzing data, or you are in the field of healthcare, or you are developing a new medicine or a new vaccine. All of it has to do with handling, analyzing, and managing data. And
Yeah.
this can
Absolutely.
only be done in combination with IT. And together, if you are a data scientist, this is going to be a field that for the next 10 to 20 years is going to remain evergreen.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. And just to add, ma'am, just to add
yeah,
here, I think I've
yeah,
seen a lot of research done by data scientists who actually, like you said, mix build these models using tech and data
yes.
science to actually predict when you see waves coming
Oh,
for the
yes,
pandemic,
absolutely.
or to
Absolutely.
estimate vaccination drive vaccination efforts as well, when you'll reach your peak of vaccination, the mathematical models basically, or data models that they build. So
Bilkul.
absolutely
I
ties
mean,
right into what you're saying.
yes, absolutely. I mean, economists can't function without analyzing data, and
Yeah.
making projections for the future, for instance. You
Yes.
know, so I mean, the entry level job would be a data center technician or a database administrator or a database analyst. And then mid career or senior jobs could be data scientist, data engineer, data architect, and wonderful salaries, and expecting, globally the job growth is, I think there's going to be an assured 10% job growth year on year in this field. The kind of person who should go into data is somebody who's happy with handling, has a comfort level with handling numbers,
Yes, yeah.
in addition to, of course, IT skills.
Sure, sure. Great. So, ma'am, I want to touch upon, TechBee briefly. I also have some
Yes.
other questions, in line. So I think I'll kind of say them out right now, and probably you could take them on one by one. They're very fairly
Only
simple
one,
questions.
इस चीज में ना एक लास्ट बच गया,
Sure, sure. Please,
and
please, absolutely,
so
ma'am.
the only last one is cloud computing.
Sure, sure,
you know
absolutely. How can we miss
so
that?
along with cybersecurity, cloud computing is going to be the top technical area in IT, which is going to see the most demand. So a career in cloud technology generally includes some programming on cloud software platforms like Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, etc. And then you move on from being a cloud engineer to cloud computing programmer to cloud architect to cloud consultant.
Sure,
And if you're unsure where to start, the basics can be a good place to turn to in any of these fields. And chota entry level certifications, you go to Google Digital Garage, etc., or you go to Coursera and do chota courses alongside while you're still in school. You will be so much clearer about what you want to do going forward. Yeah.
sure, sure. Thanks for that, ma'am. Ma'am, should we move forward to the next set of
Please.
questions that we
Yes,
have?
of course. Of
Great.
course.
So, ma'am, could you briefly touch upon TechBee a little bit for us? And I have some more questions related to that. Now, of course, with TechBee, you get into a tech career, as we've been discussing. This conversation is all about tech careers for students in class 12.
Yes.
So,
Huh.
could you tell us what is the career trajectory as well that people see in tech? Could you tell us, are these jobs that we've seen over the last year? I've read a lot of reports that tech jobs have been untouched, in the pandemic. In fact, tech companies have hired more than
Absolutely.
any other industry.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so could you
Absolutely.
just touch upon these aspects a little bit for us here today? And before you do, I also want to call out some comments that we have. I see we have some 4 or 5 students who've actually cracked, and gotten into selected for the TechBee program. So congratulations.
Wonderful.
We'll
Congrats.
be welcoming you, into the HCL fold soon. So congratulations, you've done well. And yeah, over to you, ma'am. Please take us through about the program and, of course, the kind of trajectory you have in a tech career.
I mean, I think you guys would be better equipped to do it, but whatever I have read over the years about your program and how it has evolved, I mean, आप बीटेक भी करोगे, 4 साल का बीटेक करोगे, and then you will land an entry level job, and then you will start learning on the job and then moving forward. Imagine if you're able to do that with an assured job after just 1 year of study straight after class 12. इससे बेहतर मेरे ख्याल से कुछ नहीं हो सकता for somebody who has not prepared, for the engineering entrances, etc. एंड ऐसा भी नहीं है कि अगर आप टेक बी में जाते हो तो आप में और जिसने बी टेक बी किया है उसमें अंतर होगा, बिकॉज it is not your career path or your studies, your academic and learning path does not end after that first year. I mean, I'm sure most students have read about it, but HCL TechBee has a tie-up with BITS Pilani, very good program where you can, progress your studies if you wish to study right up to the BTech level. You can go to Sastra, SASTRA, and you can do a BSc level or a BCA level program. They've also tied up with Amity University. Isn't that it?
Yes,
I
yes,
read
yes. You're right,
somewhere.
ma'am.
You know,
Yes, we
all
did.
these options. So, you are first month से आपको you get you get paid a stipend. Where will you get such an opportunity? And it costs nothing. So you have recovered your money virtually after a year of working, because your starting salary after that first year, if you complete the course successfully, of course, you will start at between 1.7 to 2.10 L a
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
where will you get such an assured? And that too, our students dream of getting into MNCs. उनका dream ही होता है, हमारे Indian students का dream. मैम मुझे तो MNC में जाना है. I mean, HCL is one of the top MNCs in not just in our country but in the world. So why not look at that option? तो आपको एक तो stipend मिलेगा पहले महीने से. At the end of your first year, you can start working. And while you're working, you continue studying. I think this, this combination, after all, what is engineering? Engineering is applied science. And here you are applying it to state of the art projects. Working for HCL is in the IT services industry, which means it is catering to various industries globally. It could be healthcare, it could be education, it could be defense, it could be medical systems, it could be just about, it could be shipping, it could be whatever. So I mean, imagine you have this exposure of working on live projects for global industries. So I think that's what I gather. I think it's a very, very, and also very cost effective. I mean, it doesn't cost 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs and things like that. And you're in no way inferior to somebody who has passed out of an engineering college.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
after you've got your degree, what stops you from even doing an MTech from an IIT if you like? You do your BITS
Correct.
Pilani, do your MTech. I mean, nothing stops you. There is no full stop as far as your career goes. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Yes. In fact, ma'am, I would just like to add there are actually course options that we do integrated programs, both bachelors and masters. Like they
Ah,
can do their masters as well after
yes.
completing their undergrad once
Oh, I
students
see.
join TechBee. Yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Superb.
Great. So thank you, ma'am, for taking everyone here through the TechBee program. Could you also talk about, like we said, the trajectory of one's career in tech in general, not necessarily talking about TechBee, and of course we could touch upon briefly on how tech jobs are actually proving to be pandemic proof.
Absolutely. What you said, is how many people lost their jobs during this lockdown and pandemic. And yet, IT guys were busy all the time. They were over busy, over
Yeah.
busy. So
Yeah.
that itself gives us a clue. Also, the salaries in IT are very, very good. The working conditions are very, very good.
Yes.
And you could be working in a core IT company, or you could be working in any industry in their IT department. So that is the scope of IT jobs. I'm in the career guidance and publishing industry. We have our IT guys to be able to take
Hmm.
our books online and put our bookshop on Amazon, etc. Or even the testing that we do of students. We have a fantastic career aptitude test, which any student can take. It takes all of 25-30 minutes, and we prepare a detailed 16-page report for every student. And
Hmm.
it matches their interest, temperament, personality against 4,500
Sure.
careers. So it's called the eye opener. Now, all this requires an IT backend. So
Yeah.
IT
Yeah.
doesn't mean only working for HCL or working for TCS or working for Infosys. You could be working for any industry which requires IT support. All right. So that is the way you have to look at your IT career. The thing is that, as I said earlier, you have to start somewhere. Okay. So you dip your toes in the water, move around, see what is happening around you, see if you like it, and look around you at what others are doing and what else you can do, or what you can add on to grow your career. And keep an eye on the new technologies that are emerging, and move on, move on, move on. At any point you feel कि बस अब तो मैंने 2-4 साल मेरा कोर्स हो गया, मैंने काम कर लिया, now I wish to go into project management, or I wish to go into
Sure.
marketing, like you are going to an MBA. What stops you? Or if you
Absolutely.
want to, yeah, you want to go into law, and you want to go into cyber law and intellectual property right laws and music company laws and film, etc., this thing laws, go and do a law course. So there, what I would like to say is that in the knowledge era and knowledge economy, there is no end to your knowledge. I mean, वो तो आपको करना ही होगा, नहीं तो you will be ice cold dodo.
Great, great. Thank you, ma'am. I think we've got a good sense. I think everyone here who joined us as well has got a good sense of actually what a starting point is for them to get into a tech career. I think everyone here is going to go back understanding careers in tech a lot better today. I
I
think we've
hope so.
answered. Yeah, absolutely. And
It's a
just from
fascinating field. It's an absolutely fascinating field. And believe me, because it's made itna quick, it's so dynamic that you will never have a dull day. You will never be bored.
Yes, absolutely. And I see that around me, in office with my colleagues. It's something you have to be very agile for. You keep learning. I
Yes,
think
yes,
even when you're doing the same thing, you find like new ways of doing it is something I've
yes.
I've kind of realized. So great. Thank you so much, ma'am, again, and thank you
Pleasure.
everyone who joined us here today. I'm glad you could all make it, and I'm sure you're going to go back from here, well informed about what a career in tech entails. Stay tuned for updates on our page. You can visit our website, hcltechbee.com, for more details about the program and register yourself if you want to enroll. So, thank you, everyone, again, and thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure speaking to you today.
Pleasure. Absolutely, Sanat. Bye. And thank you. You handled it very well. I was so nervous in the beginning.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.